Hello, welcome. Ryan Willard here, architect and director of TTHS Architects, and I'm also the host of the Business of Architecture UK. And what I want to talk to you today about is being a marketeer first and an architect second. Sacrilege! How could I say such a thing? But I am an architect. Architecture is my life. I am a creative soul. I am a poet of space. I could never not be anything else but an architect. Well, listen to me. Because if you are running an architectural business in any shape, form, or size, you must be a marketeer first and then an architect. If you purely want to be an architect, then do not run a business, go and work for somebody else and who's having all of that business stuff totally handled and carried out. And this is a difficult mindset shift. And it sometimes, I actually find it difficult when I'm doing architectural work, say when I'm designing, when I'm drawing, when I'm working out details, to then slip into the marketing brain. The two brains, for me, I find are a little bit different. They work differently. Architecture is slow, it's thoughtful, it's considered, it's solitary in a lot of ways. And in many ways, it's more of a sort of introspective, detail-orientated kind of pursuit. And it's very fulfilling. And it can be and it's very time-consuming as well. Marketing, on the other hand, the mindset is much more extroverted. And again, this is just my personal opinions on it, and this is not actually, there's no truth in this necessarily. I'm just saying how this is my own personal experience on it. But the marketing brain is extroverted. It demands that you are creating things which need to be out in the world, being seen by people, and that you are testing things and testing your communication and getting in front of the people who are going to pay you money as much as possible, and that you are creating information, you are creating content, you are creating value, you are creating a brand, a culture, which other people are able to buy into, to experience, to get a taste of, and then that can kind of be filtered through into your sales perspective. But marketing is really it is the most important aspect of any architecture business, right? Your design work, even if you do the most incredible building, if nobody's going to see it, you're not going to win any more other projects. So our ability to be marketeers is absolutely critical. I use the example of the music industry, which is quite a good one, where there are so many world-class musicians on the streets of every major city in the world who do not have record contracts, who have not got signed, they are barely making a living, they are busking. They are not marketeers. Right? They are not engaging in the world of marketing. They are not doing anything to do with marketing. They are not promoting. They are not, etc., etc., etc. And when your skill set as a marketeer will define your reach and your audience and your ability to monetize your creative pursuit. So marketing, sales, right? So in marketing, you can kind of look at it as the kind of communication that precedes selling, precedes the closing of a deal, that makes the selling and the purchase of an exchange of money or whatever it is easier, okay? Interestingly, Richard Rogers, who I used to work for, he used to say the first rule of architecture is win the job. Because if you do not win the job, there is no architecture to practice. There is nothing you can do with a building. And it's interesting because, Richard Rogers has often been criticised, I think quite unfairly many times, for some of the types of projects that he's done, particularly for larger, very high-end luxury residential schemes. But those projects, is better him doing those projects than a lesser architect doing them. And that he can bring in, again, if you don't win the job, you can't make a difference. You can't implement whatever it is your philosophy is. You can't make that impact unless you have won the work. So being a marketeer first and being an architect second. Now, if you really do not want to be a marketeer, you do not want anything to do, then you need to be able to implement a team who can do marketing. And I find it crazy, small businesses, as a small business, it's got to be 20-30% of your time dedicated to doing marketing. And there is a whole art to this. And it's not like you create a project, you create a service, and then you market it afterwards. Your marketing needs to be the generator of how you're presenting all of your services. Again, this kind of goes in conflict, particularly with the way that our training is set up, the way things that the RIBA perhaps packages all our services of works. But being a marketeer first will end up having you communicate in a totally different way. It is the most important aspect and skill. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say on the topic. There is so much more that I could talk about in terms of why marketing is so important, why we must be a marketeer first. But actually, when we do become marketeers first, it allows the architecture and it protects the creative discipline as well. It enables the creative discipline. It is like the foundation for us being able to execute, implement, and make ideas manifest in reality. That is the power of marketing. That's why you must learn it. Talk to you later.